Hi, welcome back to another video. So if you watched last week's video, you'll see I reviewed the Otimos Nomad, which is the one-man tent. That looks like it's going to be a really popular tent. But I did mention they also had a two-person tent, and this is what we're going to look at today. So this is the XLite Peak Duo. The reason I bought this tent is I've been looking for a good two-man tent when I go out with the missus. I do have a three-man at the moment, my Abisco Light 3, but I wanted something a little bit smaller, dual doors, things like that. So I thought I'll buy this at the same time as the Nomad and give it a go. Off the bat, I'll just say that this is an inner pitch tent first. That is quite contentious in the UK with the weather, and I've never owned an inner pitch tent before. So this is going to be new for me, and let's see how it is, set it up, etc. Okay, so I'll go through a few little specs first, then we'll get it out like we did last week, set it up and have a good look round it, check the pads, see what fits in it, things like that. So first off the bat, this tent weighs 1.65 kilograms, which is less than the one-man version. There is an optional footprint as well. You can buy that. I do usually recommend the footprint, and that's about, I think it's about 250 grams with the bag. So you're looking at, under 1.9 all in, which is pretty good. It's 45 centimeters by 15 centimeters when it's packed. However, as I always say, the chances of you packing it like this, I doubt it. So we'll probably take the poles out. You'd have them on the side of your bag. So this is going to compress a lot smaller. I'm guessing about this size to get it in any pack. Now, the best thing about this tent is it's exactly the same price as its one-man version, and this is $294.99. The footprint is not included. That's $29.99, so that's a really good price. And I'm pleased to say I've got a discount code. So if you enter the name Kris Gleave at the checkout, you're going to get 7% off. So if you were to get both tents, you're looking at, I think it worked out £302 all in, which is really good. Otimos are a UK company, so shipping's going to be like 48 hours, something like that, with Royal Mail. And again, if you had any problems with the tent, they give a 2-year warranty, and they're based in the UK, so you've got no issues. So let's open the pack. Let's see what it comes with. Similar to the one last week, it's got this burrito style bag, which again is just easy to get everything back into. First of all, we've got the footprint, so we will set that up first. The perks of using this footprint are you can put the poles straight onto this. So once you found your pitch, you can lay it out, and we'll do that. Apologies for the train in the background. If I just drop that on the floor, we've obviously got the pegs and we've got the poles. So let's have a quick look at the pegs again first, see if it's the same as we got last time. Yes. So you get 12 Otimos Outdoor Gear branded pegs. I'm going to say exactly the same as what I said last time. These are really good. They've got a good twist in them, which is fine. Now, this is a 3-season tent, not 4-season tent. So I would say these are absolutely fine. If for the guidelines you wanted some longer pegs, it's probably good to get maybe 5 or 6 longer pegs just for extra security or depending on the ground. But they're really good. And just like the other tent, you get a patch in there, and although it's covered, there is a pole jack as well. So if you do break the pole, you have got a pole jack in there. Again, that's always really nice to see. The poles, again, they come in a really nice bag. Feel great, these bags. And we've got some black poles, and these are 8.5mm aluminium. Okay. So with this, reminds me of my X-Dome a little bit. It's one big pole that clips together. So we'll throw it together now. So yeah, if you've seen the X-Dome, very, very much like that, but a hell of a lot thicker. lot thicker poles, these. So we'll just bang all that together very quickly. My question is for you all, what do you think about these pole systems? Where they're all one. Are you a fan or are you not? I'm still undecided, because obviously if you break one, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to repair. But what I will say is the hubs on this feel really good. They feel really solid, so that gives me a little bit of confidence. So we'll just throw that out first behind us. And then we've got the tent. Right, so it actually all comes separate as well. So we've got the inner, obviously separate, because the inner sets up first, and then we've got the outer in there as well. So let's set up the footprint first. Let's get that staked out, and let's get this tent put together. We'll also check to make sure you get enough pegs. Right, shiny side up or shiny side down? What is your preference? Okay, so we're just going to stake the 4 corners out. Now on the corners, these are not extendable, These are just hoops, so it's webbing on the side. Again, non-adjustable. Okay, so we've got that all set first. So now next what we're going to do is put the poles together. So this pole will just clip into the corners. So in each corner, you've just got little like red tabs. Now we'll see, you see these on quite a lot of tents, but on this tent, they're really easy to get in. I found that sometimes in this sort of design, they're quite hard to get in, or they come out, but these seem really nice. There we go. That obviously goes on the top because it's actually pre-bent curve on there. And now we've got the inner. So we'll just go around and hook that on all the sides. Okay, so that's together in all the corners. Okay, one of the great things about this tent, it's dual door, so it doesn't matter which way we pitch it. And then all we're going to do now, we're going to go around and we're just going to clip the outer to the inner to the poles. And once again, you can hear that really nice snap. And then we've got two little tabs on the top to put it all together. I mean, obviously, addressing the elephant in the room, as I like to say, this is in a pitch first. So if it was raining now, you know, water is going to come in the tent. Now, it's obviously a 3-season tent, so you can see it's mesh. It's all mesh, which is great for this time of year. But again, just another thing to bear in mind, that if it is raining, if water hits this, it's just going to go straight through. Whereas if you had a solid or, you know, a mixture, you'd probably keep some of the water out because it could run off if need be. So we've got one big door, which rolls up, and it looks like we've got an elasticated little bit of bungee. Let's just open the back as well, so we've got it all open. Same on both sides. I'm going to bring the camera closer. I'm going to show you around and we'll get the mats in, because when I've got the outer on, you're not going to be able to see inside the tent properly. We'll see how many pads we can fit in, we'll get in it, and we'll see how much space there is. But one thing that I really do like about inner pitch first is how taut the inner is. You're never going to get a flappy inner, but let me bring the camera closer. I'll pump up my air mats. We'll get the biggest air mats I've got, which are my Kilos gear ones. So these are 202 by 64 by 10, so massive pads. And it's important for me that I can get 2 of these in, because if I go with my girlfriend, we want basically a floor full of mats, and that's the hope. So nothing's falling in between. What you'll notice is I've not got my electric pump. What I've been loving with this is actually using the bag. So I do love my electric pumps, don't get me wrong, but the bag for this Kilos gear is spot on. 4 of these inflated, and it blows it up. I will do another review of these at another stage, a few pads, but I'm just going to blow these up and then we'll see what fits in here. Right, okay, off camera, I've just pumped both of those up. So what I'm going to do before I do that, let me just get inside and see what it's like height-wise and things. Okay. Obviously, it feels a lot better without the fly on. But what you'll find is the length of this is 210 centimetres long, and the width inside is 130. So if you work that out, you're going to fit 2 65cm pads. Now in this one, we've got 2 pockets. So we've got a pocket on here, and unlike the Nomad, this isn't a diagonal pocket. So it's a decently sized pocket, I would say. So quite small at the top, and it widens off, that's okay. But we've only got 2. Along the top, we've got 2 tabs here, so you could put a washing line in, but one isn't included. And you've got a little hook on top for your lantern as well. Yeah, so if this was for one man, this would be, as we like to say, a palace. But my big thing is, what is it like as a 2-man? So let's get these in and have a look. As I say, these are big pads. So we've got pad 1. I think I know these fit, but let's have a look. Yeah, so as you can see in there, they fit in perfectly. So let me get in. But as you can see, I'm fully on one mat. The other one is there as well. Now, the great thing about this for 2 people is it fully covers your vestibule. Now, there is a little bit of space either side, not a lot. You're talking centimetres. As I say, these are 202, so I've probably got 4 centimetres either side. But it absolutely fills this space, which is brilliant. You can sit up. My head isn't touching the ceiling on either side. And let's move over to this side so you can see clearly. On this side, my feet aren't touching. My head isn't touching. And again, because it's nice and taut, that's always going to stay away from your face. So as a space, that is good. Now, the next thing to do, let's get the fly set up and see what it's like, because that is the important bit. If you were here with 2 people, you wouldn't be able to fit your gear inside your tent with you in it as well. It just fits you both in perfectly. So your gear would have to stay in the vestibule. Now, the vestibules are 65 centimetres depth either side. That's in the middle. So we'll see how quickly they tailor off, and let's see how much space we've got. Right, so now I've just got the fly out of the bag. So the fly, it's not going to matter which side we put it because it's identical both sides. But let's now throw this over. Got the Otimos logo here. See, at least if it was raining, you know, and you had to, you'd literally just thrown it up, especially if there's 2 of you, you'd obviously put your poles together first. And then as you're about to pitch that inner, if one person has the fly, you can throw this over and then you can take your time then, because you know your tent's going to stay dry. But let's just see how this goes on. Okay, so we've got some clips. So just some clips in the corner, and that just clips down. And these are adjustable as well. You can lengthen these. They're at the tightest at the moment. I'll loosen them off just a touch. And now we've still got 2, 4, 6, we've still got 8 pegs left. We've got a loop on this side. Again, it's not stretchy, so we've just got a fixed loop, which isn't ideal because you can see to get that peg to the floor there, we'd have to put it right down there, and we want to actually pull it out. So you're going to need quite a long peg for that. So yes, it works, but that would be nice to have some bungee or adjustable guy line. So that is one thing that we will modify. Okay, now we've got 2 points that you can pitch it at. Just be careful which one you pitch, because you want to pitch the one where the door's not going to open. Again, I can already see already it needs adjustable guy line on those. Okay, so let's see, we've got 4 pegs left, and we've got a guy out point here, which I'm not going to put up because it's just going to be in the way. We've got one on the opposite side, and we've got one on either end. Now I'll put one of these out just to see what they're like. Thankfully they've put them where you can just loop them on. Just adjust that up, firm that up, and we've got a vent on there as well. So I'm only going to put one of those out for now, but you've got one on that side and you've got vents on either side. Now just note they're the only 2 vents on the tent that I can see, so either end. So if you're to get an airflow through, that'll be fine. So let's open it up now. Again, we've got a storm flap, 2 pieces of Velcro, and obviously they're all YKK zippers. Now what I am glad to see, if I just zip this up for a second, this was missing off the Nomad. Double zips. So this actually got an extra feature that I didn't notice. So a double zip's always good. So when you're cooking in the tent, you can pull this zip down and get some venting without having to reach right down to here. But we actually have a little bit of venting from that side as well. And we've got the same on both sides. So even if you were to zip that right up, it creates a nice bit of vent there. So that's interesting. Not seen that before. Right, so on the doors, we've just got a toggle. It's not stretchy. I mean, that's not going to come down, but just when you've got gloves on and things, that's a little bit easier. The vestibule is definitely big enough. It's a good size. So you can definitely get your bag in there and you'd have the same amount of room here to cook. And obviously, because you've got two sides, you can choose, you know, do you want all your gear in one side and cook out of one, or vice versa. So that's really good. For now, I'm just going to open up this door fully, just to show you that you can. Yeah, so as you can see, you know, it would have been nice if that was stretchy, just to make your life a little bit easier. I mean, it's workable, it's fine, but if you had to have gloves on, it would make it a little bit tricky, that. But how good's that? If you had great weather, you could just sit out like that. You've got a fantastic view, and we can do the same on the other side as well. So let's bring you in close and let's have a good look inside. Yeah, so this is the pocket I was talking about here. So we've got the label there, but we've got a, you know, it goes quite deep in there, so I'd say that's perfectly fine. And you've got one at one side, one on the other. Okay, another feature, which I'll show you when I walk around the tent, is that the doors open opposite ways as well. So I've mentioned this on when I did the Pioneer video, that one door opens one way, one door opens the other way, which is fantastic. So if you've got wind and you're on your own in the tent, or you only want to cook out one of the vestibules, then you can decide based on the wind, do you open one door or the other door. So that is great. You've obviously got the vents at either side here for airflow. I mean, the proof will be in the pudding how those, you know, these extra little features, how the vents work, because what they're doing, the way you want to get air in your tent is, if the wind's blowing this way, you could open this top little vent and it's going to put air in, but I don't know if it's going to circulate through the tent. Like these at either side, one will come in, one will go out. It would have been nice to have the same on both sides, you know, like this really open rather than it be directional, but personal choice. But this feels great in here, very airy. It's obviously a 3-season tent, so, you know, you've got no solid mesh anywhere in this, so you should get good airflow anyway. It is quite high at the sides, at the back, but yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. So let's have a little walk around the tent and let's have a little shake of the top, which you know I love to do. Let's see how sturdy it is. Right, let's just have a proper look inside. So here's the vestibule, loads of space there, 65 centimetres, and that goes quite far in. So here's the pads, they fit in perfectly. They fit in fully for the whole tent. These are your pockets. They're not bad. You can see your vents, and on the ceiling, there's for your washing line. That's for the middle, but look, the vestibule, plenty of space to cook and to get your bits, and loads of room and height inside. So inside, really, really good. Right, so what I've done, I've actually put out this guy line here and that one. I've actually just not put the side out, but I've put this one out here and we'll see how strong it is. Now, so, I mean, this is obviously to bear in mind, it's a 3-season tent, so you're not going to be taking it out in snow, because the top of the tent obviously can be pushed right down because it's so big. However, if it was raining, you know, that's not going to be pushing down on here. It seems very strong in these sections here. Very strong. Yeah. See, these are strong here, but for me, this is obviously a weak area. Now let me come around to that side. I wonder whether you could put a trekking pole in to strengthen it, and I'm not too sure you can. Yeah, I'm actually going to do up the doors. Because ultimately, what we want to know is it going to be good in the wind? So let's have a look. Now, this is obviously a big panel here. I think this is going to struggle on this side in the wind. Now, what I think it just needs is an extra little couple of points on here, because a little couple of stretchy points on here would really keep that taut. I've seen quite a lot of tents with this sort of design, and there's loads out there, so they must be all right. But as I say, this for me, if it was windy, would be an area where it's going to take a little bit of a battering. Right, what I decided to do was try something. So look at this now. Yeah, so what I've done there, I mean, I've just put my trekking pole in just to see how it works. Now, that makes a massive difference on this tent. This has changed it completely to make it solid. I've literally just balanced it under here. Now, it's solid in there, Now what I would like to see is, this is obviously something that you could do with this tent. So if they created a pocket at the top, a little bit like from the X-Dome, Durfton X-Dome, that has a little pocket where you can use it. There's a few tents that have done it as well, but that to me would make a massive difference. Now, if you were out in adverse weather in this tent and the wind picked up and you have trekking poles, personally, I would use them, because that makes a big difference. But obviously, because it's got nothing to hold on to, it could fall. I'll have a little look to see what modifications I can do, and if there's something I can come up with, some little tie or something, then I will show you in a future video. But I just thought I'd show you that and give it a test. So let's get this wrapped up and let's give my final thoughts. Okay, so there we have it. That is the Otimos X-Lite Peak Duo. It is a true two-man tent, because as you've seen, I get my 2 large pads in there, so that's good. The inner's nice and tight, the side pockets are good. It's obviously waterproof. I don't think I gave the specs before, but it's the same as a Nomad. So it's 3000 hydrostatic head on the outside, 20D material, and the floor's 20D too, but that's 4000. So not the highest, but waterproof, so you won't have any concerns there. It's really, really aggressively priced. So with my discount code, Kris Gleave, I'll put it below, you'll get 7% off. It's currently $294.99. So I think with that and the footprint, it's about 302. So it's a good price. Areas for improvement for me. I always like extendable guy line on the corners, as you know, so I would change that. On the sides, you definitely need some either bungee or extendable guy line on that, because you'll struggle with the pegs just to adjust it. If you want a washing line in there, you are going to need to supply a little bit of extra guy line to do that. Definitely on the doors, I would like to see some extra cordage or extra bungee just to peg those out. So just be careful which way you pitch it. Either end into the wind, that's where it's more solid. But again, time will tell how that puts up with wind. So if you want to pick one of these up, head over to Otimos, check them out. But also check out, I will leave the link above to last week's video. That is a one-man tent, the Nomad. Same price, it's a little bit heavier, but I would say that is stronger. It's 4-season, that's going to handle more adverse weather. But if you're looking for a two-man, summer, autumn sort of seasons, then this is maybe a tent for you. But do your research as ever and decide if there's any, if this works for you. If there's any questions, as ever, leave them below. But if not, I will see you in the next one. Like and subscribe. Peace.